He was full of life. He loved being with the kids. He was such a vibrant man. We'd always be thinking about what we would do on the weekends and have plans. He was always thinking, oh, Claudia, let's do this. He would time me with the amount of stuff that he wanted to do. We could do this, we could do that, and obviously that changed once the accident happened. Everyone's tragedy, I guess, always starts on such an ordinary day. There was nothing special about it. There was no storms. There was no, catastrophe. It was just such a normal day. He left at about 4:30 that day, as he does because he's a truck driver. About midday that day, I was at work and I got a call saying, I've had an accident, and I was just horrified because I thought, what has happened? And so he explained to me what had happened, and I went to pick him up, took him to the doctors and did all that, and there was quite a severe injury that he'd suffered because of a workplace that really didn't take care of their safety procedures. He was struck by a load off the back of a truck. He'd sustained injuries all to the side of his neck, to the shoulder, to the back. It was really significant. And you don't realise how debilitating an injury like that can actually be to someone, and the consequences of that throughout, many years after the event. We were like most families, projecting holidays and things we would get for the kids, and all of a sudden that changed. My husband's income was decent. We had a very comfortable life. As the process continued over the years, there was a huge reduction, and it was hard because with kids, I want this, mummy, can I have that? And it was like, well, no, I can't get you that this week. My life changed 360 degrees. It's like you have a past life from that moment, and then you have a post life after that moment, and you sort of grapple with trying to find a normality within that, because your pre-normal has changed and your post-normal you're sort of creating, because now you have to adapt to medical appointments, you have to adapt to physio appointments, you're still caring for children, your life hasn't changed, you still have bills, you still have concerns. It was like a tidal wave, because you don't realise the support you get from your partner. But then when you're left with everything, I was left with gardening, and I know the level of care my husband took prior to the accident, the kids growing up and all their developments and things, their activities. So there were a lot of things that were given up during that process. My husband had 3 surgeries over 3 years, and also deciding on whether to have them. There's a lot of consultation process in deciding to have surgeries, because like anything in life, it's not guaranteed that it's going to resolve the problem. And in his case, unfortunately, some of it didn't. A family member had used Stacks before, very successfully. So when I rang them and I spoke to them, they explained to me exactly what we needed to do to initiate the legal aspect of the case. And they were wonderful. I never felt excluded, I always felt included, and even all the sort of the difficult legal aspects of everything was very much accessible. They explained everything, which was wonderful. So very much felt a participant in the process, because sometimes the person injured isn't in a position to do those things. So as a partner, you've got to step in and help them through that process. Carly was absolutely fantastic. I can't recommend her highly enough for anyone, unfortunately, who's in that situation that requires the assistance of Stacks Goudkamp. She's got that lawyer-esque sensibility about her, but she also has a lot of the traits of the mother aspect and the carer aspect, and she also has that integrated ability to bring those experiences to a case like ours that included a family. Feeling included in all the decision makings, but not feeling overwhelmed by all the legality, and she was able to assist us with all that. So can't speak more highly about Carly. If someone was in the same position that I was in, I'd certainly get legal assistance very early on, so they'd get the best benefits, the best legal assistance, and they knew exactly where they stood legally, and then everything else will flow from that.